Here's the pitch. It's up and in, and the pitcher, Camanero's been ejected as he throws over the top of Breivik Valera. You can't have that. Valera takes his base as he slowly watches out at Camanero. And one pitch after Ford homers, it goes up and in, and it hits Valera. And now Ford is jawing with some Syracuse Mets. RailRiders are hopping over the railing of the dugout, and the bullpens come on out. It's Logan Morrison who's the first to greet the Mets, and we've got contact, we've got a pile, and we've got a whole lot of pushing and shoving. Trey Ambergy's getting thrown around. Everyone's trying to get things separated, and we're gonna have to wait and see who ultimately gets ejected here. The two teams are still together out in front of first base. Now, Mike Ford was the one who was getting called out by the Syracuse Mets, which to me means that if Ford hits the home run and watches it to see whether it's gone, there was exception taken. And the fact that the Mets started jawing at Ford and vice versa in the dugout, to me makes it plain and clear that Archimedes Camanero was the one who was throwing at Valera. If it had nothing to do with it, then Camanero and the Mets would have said, no, it was just an accident. But they went right after Ford. Everyone's going back to their dugouts, and we're going to have to wait and see who gets ejected, what ultimately happens here. Breivik Valera is at first base after being hit. Tim Tebow's hanging out with Valera as he came all the way in from left field. Mike Ford leads off the 9th inning against right-hander Archimedes Camanero. The right-hander Camanero with the scoreless 8th inning, 21 pitches in the frame. Here's the windup and pitch to Ford. Inside, near his head, he's been tossed. Camanero incited a brawl yesterday between the RailRiders and the Mets. And Mike Ford is pointing at his hip saying, throw at my backside, don't throw at my head. All the RailRiders are out. Camanero comes up and in on Ford. The guy who homered off him yesterday, Camanero, hits Breivik Valera between the shoulder blades last night. And on the first pitch the next day, going head-to-head against one another, he comes high and tight, and Ford has to hit the deck. That is inexcusable baseball. And I can't wait to see the suspension handed down from the league president after that. And that was handled really well by Mike Ford, by both teams. Ford comes out, takes a step out of the batter's box, and points at his rear end to say, hit me here, don't throw at my head. He came up high and tight on Valera yesterday, and it was fortunate that it got him in the shoulder and didn't catch him in the head. And then here today, if Tony DeFrancesco, the manager, gets ejected, okay, I don't put any of this on him. But Camanero's been ejected. Rene Rivera trying to get Ford away, and Ford is still hot. Doug Davis, the third base coach, Jay Bell right near Ford just to make sure that things stay simmered. The three umpires huddle up, and right-handed action begins loosening for the Syracuse Mets